The radio. I would have talked about a group of women that I have absolutely no respect for whatsoever. Now, you may say that's anyone with a vagina, and I would say no. The group is not that broad. The group of broads I feel this way about is not that broad. Now, this story appeared in a London tabloid, the Daily Mail, but it could easily have appeared here. It just happens they wrote the story. So from the London Daily Mail, here is a story that really got our attention over here. Here it is. It wasn't the life that Tara Bailey had in mind. Pregnant at 20. She had to resign herself to growing up quickly and learning about motherhood. Then at 36, she became a grandmother. Her story may sound surprising. Not to me, it doesn't. But Miss Bailey's is not an isolated case. As a result of Britain's high teenage pregnancy rate, the worst in Europe, many women are becoming accustomed to looking after their grandchildren while still in their 30s and without any sign of a husband. The new phenomenon raises questions about the social consequences of generations of children being brought up without fathers. The majority of the women involved don't regret having babies, but some who became parents in their teens told a BBC documentary they wish they had done things differently. Miss Bailey, whose daughter became pregnant at 15 and has an 8-month-old daughter, said, "I put Raketa on the pill as soon as she started her periods at 12 or 13. It wasn't a case of giving her permission to sleep around, but you can't lock a young girl in her bedroom 24/7. When she became pregnant, I was upset because she's very clever, and I wanted her to go to college first to get a good job. I'd had her at 20, and it was hard. I had to buy everything secondhand or make clothes myself." By the way, darling, one thing you didn't think about when you were a teenage slut cranking out bastard children is that your children are going to do the same thing. You're not going to be able to tell them not to do what you did. Your kids are going to do what you did. You learn that the hard way. It doesn't matter. You tell them, hey, I don't want you getting pregnant. But you got knocked up when you did. Then you give your daughter the pill. What do you expect? Says here, Miss Bailey, who lives with her 3 children in Harleston, Norfolk, said, "I've taken up kickboxing and go clubbing twice a month with friends." There's the grandma going out now clubbing with her friends twice a month. "You used to think of a granny as being a frail old lady with a blue rinse, but I prove that's not the case anymore." Look, she's proud of it, too. Maybe if she's lucky, she can get knocked up again. Maybe her granddaughter can have a... What would her granddaughter have if she had a baby? A new aunt that's younger than she is. Says here... She is no longer with Raketa's father, and, surprise, Raketa split with her daughter's father. What a shocker. Says here, Pauline Huntington can sympathize. She was 34 when her 15-year-old daughter, Leanne, became pregnant. Leanne split up with the father. Having children so young has meant the 38-year-old struggled financially and has never traveled abroad. Boo-hoo-hoo. Should have thought ahead, you moron. A butcher shop assistant of Peterlee in County Durham with 2 other children. She said, "I didn't go to college and left school without any qualifications." Humping, pumping, and dumping, I guess. When Leanne was born, money was so tight we had to burn old shoes to keep warm. Hard to feel sorry for you, you moron. Says here, factory worker Tracy Smith of Runcorn, Cheshire, was born when her mother was 18. She had her first daughter, Kay, at 16. And Kay, who lives with her child's father, became pregnant at 18. Oh, yeah, baby. So at 52, she's a great-grandmother. She said, I missed my social life and freedom, and sometimes I felt resentful. What kept me going was thinking that I would get my life back later once they grew up. I feel like my life started when I was about 30. My mom was 18 when she had me, but I really hoped that my girls would break that chain. I don't care what you hope for, you idiot. I had hoped the Easter Bunny was coming to my home. Guess what? He didn't show. Says here, for the trend for young grandmothers looks likely to continue. There were 39,000 pregnancies among under 18s in England in 2006, compared with 39,800 in 2005. More than 20 girls between 13 and 15 become pregnant every day. This is in England, by the way. This is not the United States. This is England. Norman Wells of Family and Youth Concern said, quote, in previous generations, it was not unusual for girls to marry and start having children in their late teens and early 20s, and for women to become grandparents in their late 30s. Yeah, well, that was back when the life expectancy for people was like 50, right? He says the key difference now is that most teenage pregnancies occur outside of marriage, and their children frequently lack the involvement of a committed father. You know, it is these 35-year-old grandmothers, these 50-year-old great-grandmothers. I mean, my God, on this show, we've gotten calls from 28-year-old grandmothers, okay? I have no respect for you. You are the worst kind of trailer trash, whether you literally live in a trailer park or not. You're the worst of the worst of the worst. And the problem with you girls is that you don't understand because you're stupid. You're just a bunch of ignoramuses. You don't understand that what you do will be copied by your daughter, your granddaughter, your great-granddaughter. It just continues. It's disgusting. You're a bunch of leeches. You're a bunch of losers. And I have absolutely no respect for you at all. Does everybody agree with me on this at least?
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like you. Definitely don't like you.
It's the Tom Leykis Show.
It's the Tom Leykis Show. 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Who is lower than a 35-year-old grandmother? That's the worst. The worst. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. It's Luis on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom.
Hey.
Let's see. It's horrible. It sucks. But it's, at the same time, I think I have to say something about this, too.
What do you mean?
Like, well, the general census is a hoe's great. They're easy to go with. I mean, the earlier you get them, we glorify this kind of treatment, and women think that's great. That's why you have a lot of these, 15, 18-year-old mothers.
It's not necessary for them to become pregnant and then have babies.
It's not necessary for us to make them believe that's what we want.
No, but who is doing that?
Well, what's the expectations? What else do they have to shoot for? I don't have much else.
Well, but that's my point. You see, men have nothing to do with this. The decision to have a baby is 100% the decision of the female.
But unless the women's population goes dyke, they have to look at the opposite sex and what they want.
But again, why do you blame men for this in any way?
Well, another thing is...
No. Don't go to another thing. Answer what I'm asking you.
Because it has to do with men. There's no way...
It has nothing to do with men. And because...
Women just became like this on their own.
They made the decision to have a baby on their own. And no man is consulted.
Well, I believe that more now. It's considered more consulted now. Back then, that wasn't the case.
I'm telling you that even if a man is consulted, the woman makes the decision, and that's that.
Well, that's the woman's... Well, yeah, it's the woman's decision. It's her own decision.
So you can't blame it on men, then, because it's a woman's decision.
Yeah, the way the laws are, I mean, you really can't consult. You can't, like, both decide, hey, I'm going to have a kid right now, because it's mainly her choice.
That's my point. So the reason you've got 35-year-old grandmothers is because women make bad decisions. Hey, watch your mouth. We're on the air.
Oh, sorry. That's the crappy part.
Oh, I didn't know. This is a radio show. Oh, I forgot.
That's good stuff. But the crappy part is, I'll say the crappy, that's it. I mean... Here's the thing. We said we're in a society. A woman has a child. Men, we pretty much have to pay for it. We can't really...
I'm not even talking about who pays for it. I'm talking about the fact that we have 35-year-old grandmothers in this society. We have them because of women's decisions, not men's decisions.
Well, because they end up with the result. That's all they have.
All they have to do, number one, use birth control. Number two, if you don't use birth control, have an abortion.
That's pretty cut and dry.
How hard is this? If you don't believe in abortion, don't have sex.
Abstinence? I mean, that really doesn't work.
If you don't believe in abortion, you see, if you don't believe in abortion, abstinence is part of that belief system. In other words, if you're a Christian, for example, if you believe that abortion is a sin, well, guess what? So is having sex before marriage.
So to cleanse one sin, you're talking about committing another?
Again, you know, here's the thing. You follow the whole system. If you're religious and don't believe in abortion, don't be having sex until you get married.
Okay. So you're talking about like all or nothing, no middle ground kind of thing.
There is no middle ground. It's called the Bible. There is no middle ground there. Nowhere in the Bible does it tell these little sluts to go out and have sex.
But it does talk about redemption. I'm not a Bible man myself, but...
I'm just saying, if you think abortion is wrong, generally people have some religious undertone for why they believe that. If that's the case, then they shouldn't be having sex.
I'm not arguing about abortion. I'm talking about just regular decisions.
Right, and having babies and becoming 35-year-old grandmothers is a result of the decisions that women make or girls make. But it is not a result of decisions that men make. Because it has nothing to do with getting pregnant. It has to do with what you do once you get pregnant. You can use birth control if you're a woman, or you can have an abortion if you accidentally get knocked up. A woman could take care of that. When they don't, they are the trailer trash they are. 35-year-old grandmothers. Disgusting. 1-800-5800-TOM. It's Aaron on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom, how you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Okay, well, that scared the hell out of me when she told me she had...
Who?
My ex-girlfriend. I'm sorry about that.
You haven't talked to me yet.
Yeah, I talked to Dean. I'm sorry about that.
Well, hang on a second, Dean. Come on in here a second, Dean. Dean, when I picked up the phone with Aaron, he continued the conversation he was having with you, and he referred to somebody as she. And then when I said to him, you haven't talked to me yet, he said, well, I've talked to Dean. So what was Aaron going to talk about here?
Boy, that didn't take long. Aaron just happened to date a woman who is a 34-year-old grandmother. Her kid just had a kid and just had to get married at the age of 18. So therefore the process repeats, and Aaron happened to date this woman who was from out of the state.
All right. So we have no need to talk to him, do we?
Not anymore. Thank you, sir.
Sorry, Aaron. That's it. 1-800-5800-TOM. You know, if you're, you want to talk to Dean, go ahead and talk to Dean. But the minute you start telling me you talk to Dean, or you in any way get on the air and act like I'm a psychic and I know what you're talking about, you're finished. Little Talk Radio 101 here. 1-800-5800-TOM. Can you believe that? The guy gets on the air like I've been in the middle of a conversation with him. Ridiculous. Let's say hello here to Daniel on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
What is up, Tom, man? Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Thank you.
Yeah, you know what? You know, I agree with you almost completely on everything you've ever said on your show, and I've been listening for quite a few years now. And I just think, though, about this certain subject, you know, if a man doesn't want to, you know, wrap up his tool or make sure that she takes the morning after pill if they did have unprotected sex, or even go as far as pay for the abortion, which I don't agree with, by the way. I don't agree with abortion. But, I mean, if they're not going to do that, then it's their own fault that they got into the situation they do. I have a 1-year-old daughter myself. And me and
why did you do that?
Well, the thing is, we were together, we were traveling, you know, around.
So what? What does that have to do with anything?
I know, we were just having fun. My point is, we were just, you know, having fun, and I guess one time we used condom, it didn't work, and it happened. We stayed together up until just recently, and we...
Oh, why didn't you have an abortion?
Oh, because I don't agree with it. I don't agree with abortion.
Oh, so let me understand this. You believe in fornication. Is that right?
That's correct, and I use protection.
And where do you get this belief that abortion is wrong? From where?
Just because I a sense of morality, I guess.
Sense of morality that comes from where?
That comes from everybody. Everybody knows between good and bad.
Oh, really?
Everybody, you know, whether you want to acknowledge it or not.
I see. And so part of your sense of morality is fornication?
There's... that's
fornicating with your girlfriend, that's a moral thing to do?
Well, I mean, you know...
Tell me it is. Go ahead.
It's not the good thing to do.
I see. So that's an immoral thing you can do.
Yes.
And the other's an immoral thing you can't do.
No, it's not that.
What is it? No. We're not letting you get past. No, we're not letting you get past this point. I'm not letting you do the old soft shoe and move on to the next point. We're going to resolve this issue.
Well, okay, I agree that it's not a moral thing to do, and I probably shouldn't have done it anyway. But you know what?
So why were you doing it?
Just like you say, though, I got mine. I wanted to get mine. I was getting mine at the time, and I got mine from many other women besides her. And
so all of a sudden you decided to be a moral person.
No.
All of a sudden.
It's not a morality of myself or anybody else I'm with. She knew what I was doing. But it's the fact of you're killing somebody who doesn't even have a chance to speak up for themselves in their own life. Whether, you know, you could even go have the baby and give her up to a hospital.
But you didn't.
Excuse me?
But you didn't.
No, but I'm not saying me. I'm glad I have a daughter.
Why are you glad you have a daughter? You're 21. Do you know what that's going to do to the rest of your life?
No, it's been fine so far.
Well, yes, it's been fine so far. That's what the guy who jumped off the 50-story building said around the 43rd floor. He said it's been fine so far.
Yeah, well, you know what? I don't regret anything I've ever done in my whole
what
life.
college are you attending, Daniel?
Excuse me?
What college are you attending?
I wasn't attending college.
I know.
Okay, hold on. Let me explain myself before you...
You were going to Bonham Young University.
Yeah, pretty much. No, but...
Right, that was the college you were going to, right?
No, I was going to go to college, but then I switched my career.
You switched to Bonham Young. Yes, you did a transfer.
Yeah, actually I started Bonham Young.
Is that in Utah, Bonham Young?
Yeah.
Bonham Young University.
Yep.
Right, BYU.
Yeah. Anyways, well, it was good talking to you, man.
I know it was. 1-800-5800-TOM, graduate of Bonham Young University. Let's say hello to Eva on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi.
It is a pleasure to talk to you.
I know.
Like always. I am surprised that a lot of these men don't agree with you and sound very idiotic, because I completely and totally agree with you. If a woman decides to have sex, it is her responsibility to decide, I'm going to use birth control for whatever reason. You know, there's so many options they can use, and they just don't do it. So that's on them. They're idiots. That's all. And you can't feel sorry for them because they're just idiots. And there's Planned Parenthoods, there's free clinics, there's everything. I realized very young, I'm 24, and I realized if I'm going to do something, I'm going to go protect myself. I'm not going to rely on someone else to do it. I'm not, because it's just, you're setting yourself up for something to go wrong. And that's what I have to say about that.
Well, thank you for that, Eva.
Thank you.
Appreciate the call. Just add water. No response necessary. 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. How do you feel about these 35-year-old grandmothers? Aren't they the lowest of the low? Megan, hello.
Hello?
Yes.
Tom? Okay. First-time caller, listen to you a long time. Love you. But when I was 15, I had an abortion. I was a sophomore in high school. I'm in college now. If I'd had that kid, I would not be in college. Might not have graduated high school.
That's right.
So I think any woman who's, especially if you're under 18, if you get pregnant, if you mess up, it's your fault. You have to take responsibility for that. That's basically all I have to say.
But when people talk about taking responsibility, they usually think that means they have to have a baby and make $8 an hour for the rest of their lives.
But that kid would not have a life that it should have. You'd resent it probably.
Well, first of all, that kid is more likely to be a teenage parent because that person was a teenage parent. Also, statistics show, and we have read the statistics on the air, that the children of teenage mothers are more likely to grow up to be alcoholics, more likely to grow up to become drug addicts, more likely to grow up and become criminals, more likely to die younger. I mean, the list goes on.
Yeah, see, and I just don't think I'd be okay with being 30 and having, you know, a drug-addicted daughter, and I'm about to be a grandma. So, like, that just would not be okay with me.
No, I don't think it'd be okay with most people.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. Tom Leykis.
Hi, Tom, I love you.
As well you should, darling.
You're awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, so what are we talking about?
I don't know. I'll tell you what. Buy a radio. Call me back.
It's the Tom Leykis Show. 97.1 Free FM. SoCal's FM talk station.
Tom Leykis Show. 1-800-5800-TOM. That is our telephone number. Thank you for tuning in. Here we go. 1-800-5800-866. Talking about 35-year-old grandmothers. Disgusting. It's Ellen on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom. How are you today?
I'm doing okay.
Good. I'm so glad to be talking to you.
As well you should be, darling.
I am. Well, I am a high school teacher in Southern California, and when you were reading this story on the air, I just wanted to die because I currently have a student, and she is 15, and I recently met her mom, who is 31, and I met her grandmother, who is 46. So you do the math. Unbelievable.
Outrageous.
I was dying. I almost wanted to faint when I was meeting them and said, oh, my gosh, do you guys see a pattern? Or is it just me?
Well, I see the pattern. It's they who don't see the pattern.
I know. I know.
Delusional enough to believe after they were little sluts at 14 and 15 having babies that they're going to teach their daughters not to get pregnant.
And you know what makes me so upset, because I am in the public school system, is that a lot of these girls get special treatment. They get, quote, maternity leave. They get extra time to turn in assignments and whatnot. And it just bugs me because here are the kids that are working hard on the path to college and everything, and I don't give them special treatment. They don't get to go to the free clinic in my district. They don't get this. They don't get that. And I just don't see the equity involved. And then when I try to argue it, they're telling me that I'm not being sensitive to their needs.
What they need is to get laid.
And you know what, Tom, you would be really proud of me. I am, what you would describe as doing I did the right thing. I graduated high school. I went to college. I have a master's degree. I traveled the world. And then I got married. You would have been very proud of me.
Really?
Yes. And, my husband's the same thing. He has his college degrees. He has, he's traveled. And then we got married. And, and I just look at these girls and say, you have no idea what you're missing. College rocks. A young adulthood is so much fun. You have no idea what you're missing.
And they really need to find out what they're missing, because if they don't, they're going to find it out down the line when they end up screwing around on somebody.
Exactly. And so it gets to me. And so, Tom, for someone that's an atheist, you really do preach a good word.
Thank you, Ellen.
Will you take me out with a crack of the whip and a gracias?
I certainly will.
Thank you.
Here you go. Crack of the whip. We used to have crack of the whip. There it is.
Gracias.
What do they call crack of the whip now? Whip. Just plain whip. 1-800-5800-TOM. That's the telephone number here. Roger on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom, this is Roger.
I know, I just said that.
Well, I think it's pretty ridiculous that you berate people for having babies. I understand, 15 and 13, things like that. But that guy that called a couple minutes ago that has a daughter and he's 21 and he's proud of his daughter and stuff, I don't think that's right, man.
What's not right?
That you say he's an idiot for having
He is an idiot. He is an idiot for doing that.
Dude, you're a fat idiot, man. What?
Again, if all you can do, if that's their whole argument is trying to insult me, you clearly have no, you're going to wait. Clearly, you have no argument. You have no ammunition. If all you have is some lame, limp attempt to insult me, goodbye, Mr. F-word, goodbye. Idiot. Breeder. Knocking out bastard children, you moron. You and your little bastard daughter. F you. Go take a look at your slut of the future. Daddy, it's my 14th birthday and I'm pregnant. Look forward to that. 1-800-5800-TOM. Jeremy on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Dad.
How you doing, son?
You are doing well. You make me laugh. That guy is an idiot. But I got to disagree with you, Tom. These guys out here, listen, do the math. If you're dating a girl whose mom is in her 30s, wrap it up. Because chances are, odds are, 100% of the time, she's going to have a baby too.
You should wrap it up regardless.
Regardless, yes. But, if you're out there dating a girl that's got a 30-year-old mom, she's having a baby, period.
I don't understand what it is with these guys who want to ride bareback in a system that's going to take their money for the next 20 years. I don't get it.
Yeah, they're not listening to their dad. That's the problem.
Well, that's right.
Now, I didn't listen to you either, and I'm married, but my wife and I, we don't want kids. So guess what? I wrap it up. I'm not getting cut. My wife's not getting cut, so we wrap it up.
Good for you.
Thank you, Tom. Hey, the only way you can take somebody out in this discussion is Kobe style. Can you take me out Kobe style?
I certainly can.
This is about us. She's so special to me. Yeah, it beats in my heart. Yeah, the air I breathe. She's so special to me.
It's 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Arlene on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
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 You're a man. You're dating a girl whose mom is in her 30s. Wrap it up.
We're on the 70-second plan here. It'll be 70 seconds before the next word. The reason for that is because we've got a 70-second delay. Because despite being told 3 times to turn the radio off, this caller did not do that. So she's listening to the radio and waiting to hear me say her name, which would be her cue. Despite the fact she already heard it over the telephone and responded to it, she somehow turned up the radio and now decided she's waiting to hear her name on the radio. So now we must all wait the entire 70 seconds. These people are going to learn. They're going to learn the hard way. 1-800-5800-TOM. It's Danny on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
How you doing, Tom?
Doing okay.
Good to hear, good to hear. Yeah, I have to agree. My whole life I've been around women who's had pretty much from my own mother to stepmothers to aunts, and they all have mothers who've had them young, and they had their kids young, and they, you know, their daughters all have kids that are young too. They're like, I mean, I have nephews that are 2 years old, and their mom's only 18. I'm older than their mom.
Wow.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
Wow.
And all I have to say is people are subject to their environment. And if your mom and your grandma both had kids at young ages, they're going to think, well, I can do it. I don't have anything to worry about. I got that
right.
off the government.
That's exactly right.
And that's the message that the government's sending. That's the message that the parents are sending. That's the message the schools are sending by promoting special treatment for these kids with, you know, babies.
They actually have daycare centers in L.A. high schools.
Yeah, and I heard about that on your show a couple weeks ago. You were saying that. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
And so all the other little 14 and 15-year-old sluts gather around. Oh, isn't that cute? Your baby is so cute. What do you think they're all going to do?
They're going to sit on their ass and juice the government. That's what they're going to do.
No, they're all going to go out and have their own babies.
Exactly. Exactly. And no one understands that it's an issue because all they're doing is populating more criminals because, let's think about it. These people are having kids at young ages. Do you think they're going to be good at raising their child? Do you think their kids are going to be successful? No. They're raising more criminals, more hoodlums, more people to put into our county jails and our prison system. What are you bringing into this world? Nothing good. And when people sit there and say, "Oh,"
they're raising the carjackers and the drug addicts of the future.
Exactly. And when people say, "Oh, I'm against abortion," yeah, so you're pro putting in more carjackers, more criminals, more junkies on the streets, right? Because that's what you're going to be bringing in when you don't.
Hey! Watch your mouth. We're on the air.
I'm sorry, sir. Apologize. And just not knowing to wrap their stuff. It's just ridiculous. It's straight ridiculous, and I am completely appalled. Hey, Tom, do you think you could take me out Cloud 9 style?
Client number 9 style, yes, we can.
Number 9.
The remorse I feel will always be with me. From those to whom much is given, much is expected.
Number 9. Number 9. Number 9. Number 9.
It's 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Henry on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
How you doing, Tom?
Doing okay, Henry.
Man, I was 21 years old, living with a girl, and she got pregnant. She wanted to keep the baby. So we got to talking about it. Now, this is well before I was a listener of yours. So I had no idea back then what the hell Mary was. But that's what I did. Hello?
Wow, yeah, I'm listening to you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought the line was dead.
No. I'm right here.
So I told her, I said, look, you know, seriously, it's not a good time for us to be having a baby. You know, it'll make it hard for us to get our life together, get it started. So she went ahead and agreed. Well, of course, not long after she had the abortion, we ended up growing apart. I mean, she was a younger girl. She didn't even know who she was yet. I was a young guy, still not even a man yet, trying to decide what I was going to do with my life. Now we kind of keep in touch, and we both agree it was the smartest thing we ever did.
Of course. I wish the people in this situation today would hear what you're saying.
It would have totally ruined our lives to be at that point and now be connected. Instead of just talking because we want to, we'd have been connected by a child that we had no relationship.
Outrageous. I'm sorry to cut you short, but I need to get this one in very quickly. Angie, 29 years old. What did you want to say here?
Hi, Tom. This is Angie. I'm a 29-year-old grandparent.
Why?
Well, actually, step-grandparent. Does that count?
Not really.
Oh. Well, she's 15, and I think it's the biggest mistake she ever made.
Yeah, but it's your husband's daughter.
Correct.
Right. How old is your husband?
35.
And why did he have a kid at 20?
Good question, Tom.
I know. A lot of these are good questions. Very few good answers.
The Tom Leykis Show.